Pride Daily.
Hi there, I'm Kev McGrath. Coming up, trans wrestling feels the love. First though, a church in Texas has now got rainbow stairs outside in response to the removal of rainbow road crossings. Right-wing lawmakers have been targeting them across America as part of their culture war clownery, but as Reverend Ryan Wager tells NBC5, Oak Lawn United Methodist Church in Dallas is taking a stand.
I hope that people drive by knowing that we're taking steps when the governor is trying to take steps to silence or erase, literally, the community from being on the streets, that there's a place that they can come and find sanctuary.
Yeah, taking steps. He knows what he's doing. The church, which opened in 1864, has long been an inclusive space for queer people.
Pride Daily.
Next, claims a young boy is being refused a religious rite of passage by a Catholic priest in Italy because the kid's godfather is gay. Father Marco Natalio Rue says the 12-year-old's confirmation in Sardinia would go against the rules. Reckons it's not about sexuality, but because the godfather lives with someone outside of marriage, he's actually in a civil union. The boy's mum feels confident she knows what the real issue is here.
Pride Daily.
And a trans wrestling bout's been interrupted by a competitor proposing to their opponent. Got down on one knee in the middle of a fight at the T-Boy event in Los Angeles. There was some kissing and some hand-holding, so I'm feeling positive about the outcome there. No time to tell you that Britain's King Charles unveils a memorial to queer military personnel later at his first official engagement in support of LGBTQ+ people. It's thought Johannesburg Pride drew more than 55,000 people on Saturday. And the Scottish International Queer Film Festival, or SQUIF, kicks off today in Glasgow.
Pride Daily.
Hi there, I'm Kev McGrath. Coming up, one of the most banned books in America is back. First though, a ban on puberty blockers in Queensland, Australia has been overturned. Lawyers for the mother of a transgender child who took a case to the Supreme Court have successfully argued it was unlawful. She says the fight's been traumatising and no teenager should ever be put through this just to get the healthcare they need. Jodie Halls from Trans Justice Project.
All children deserve a healthcare system that allows them to grow up healthy, happy, and with the freedom to be themselves. Queensland's Health Minister has catastrophically overreached. This is an appalling misuse of the political system to achieve a political outcome where he should be making decisions based on health evidence.
Talking about Tim Nichols, who's threatening to reinstate the ban he introduced in January, because threats are all he's got now to try and save face. The court heard claims of political interference and a lack of meaningful consultation with health officials.
Pride Daily.
Brazil's launched a government-backed AI system that's constantly scanning the internet looking for anti-queer hate speech and disinformation. The Platform of Respect, as it's known, will track down the source and submit content for evaluation so authorities can then get prosecuting if needs be. Brazil's hate crime law was expanded to include homophobia and transphobia 6 years ago, and offenders can be jailed.
Pride Daily.
And brace yourselves, I fear the likes of Harry Potter's Wicked Grandma, Graham Linehan and Roisin Murphy off of Not Much Anymore may be about to implode. Gender Queer, one of the most banned books in the US, is being re-released next year with some new content. It's the illustrated autobiography of non-binary author Maya Kobabe, all about growing up gender non-conforming, so catnip for the culture war clowns. The book's been banned by schools and libraries across America. The new edition's out on May the 5th. No time to tell you that. Perth in Australia is going to be hosting the 2030 Gay Games. The announcement's been made in Valencia in Spain, where next year's event takes place.
Pride Daily.
Hi there, I'm Kev McGrath. Coming up, the most queer-friendly city in Europe. First though, 2 drag queens have been assaulted on a busy street in Ireland while bigoted bystanders cheered. Both Lucinda Shining and Crystal Queer were kicked from behind by a man, and I use that term loosely, early last Sunday in Cork. Someone else then hit Crystal in the face with a mobile phone. The pair posted a video shortly after.
The most sickening part for me was the men on the street who laughed at us and cheers. There was hundreds of people on the street. Nobody intervened. Nobody tried to help.
It was definitely very scary.
Yeah.
It's also been a reminder as to how important what we do is.
They say the attackers have now been identified thanks to footage of the incident.
Pride Daily.
Next, Queensland's reinstated its ban on puberty blockers just hours after the Supreme Court overturned it. It was ruled unlawful yesterday following a legal challenge by the mum of a transgender child because officials weren't properly consulted. But the government's having another go as the judge's decision was based on legal requirements rather than health issues.
Pride Daily.
And Barcelona's been named the most queer-friendly city in Europe. Comes ahead of Berlin and Ibiza in the yearly rankings from travel operator TUI. They factor in the likes of hate crime laws, legal protections, and, if you'll pardon the stereotyping, even the price of Prosecco. No time to tell you that South Africa's approved what's seen as a game-changing HIV prevention jab. Only 2 doses of lenacapavir are needed per year. And shares in queer hookup app Grindr are going through the ruddy roof after a $3.5 billion offer to buy the business.
Pride Daily.
Hi there, I'm Kev McGraw. Coming up, a rainbow over the Netherlands. First though, a gay lawmaker speaks out for the first time about all the hate unleashed after another politician's homophobic tweet. Sydney MP Alex Greenwich has already successfully sued Mark Latham with separate legal action ongoing. Latham continues his attacks, though, online and in interviews, and actually used parliamentary privilege to share his victims' confidential medical information. As Alex tells ABC Radio, all this has really put him in the crosshairs.
I would go to my amazing lawyer, Nick Stewart's office, and I would see these binders of evidence, these binders of hate, all of the emails, handwritten letters, transcripts of voicemails. Mr. Latham really provided the green light for people to attack me in the most aggressively sexualised way.
Alex says he's turned to medical cannabis to deal with the PTSD caused by what he calls Latham's abusive obsession.
Pride Daily.
Next, the Netherlands could be about to get its first out gay Prime Minister. Votes are still being counted, but it's looking like Rob Jetton's earned first crack at forming a coalition. Exit polls put him neck and neck with far-right opponent Geert Wilders, but no one will work with him. At 38 years old, the Democrats' 66 party leader would also be the youngest ever PM of a country known for its strong protections of LGBTQ+ rights.
Pride Daily.
And Spanish football player Aitor Ruibal says he's not gay, but so what if he is? People question the Real Betis striker's sexuality because he can be out there with his appearance. He likes nail polish, dyeing his hair funky and carrying handbags. The 29-year-old who's got a wife says if he was gay it wouldn't matter, reckons ultimately it's about being confident with yourself. No time to tell you that Italy's Gender Bender Festival starts later in Bologna, all about gender and sexual identity and body representation. And the UK's only LGBTQ+ inclusive rowing clubs raised nearly £1,200 for a trans charity. Not a Phase gets the cash, courtesy of London Otter's Rainbow Races event.
Pride Daily.
Hi there, I'm Kev McGraw. Coming up, guess who's spitting chips about 9 transgender triumphs? First though, a man who was badly beaten trying to defend a transgender woman in America has had the cost of his surgery covered by strangers. Jared Atkinson stepped up when he saw her being targeted by 3 seemingly drunk men by a lake in Texas. The 33-year-old's jaw was so badly broken, a piece of it ended up in his ear canal. A crowdfunder's raised nearly $75,000. Bridget Bandit's a local drag queen.
Whenever we see these kinds of attacks, it's just really alarming and upsetting. Do better. You know, the trans community is not harming you, and we deserve to exist in peace and together.
Thanks to Fox 7 Austin, 2 men have been charged with aggravated assault.
Pride Daily.
Next, Kazakhstan's moving closer to a ban on what it calls LGBT propaganda. Lawmakers have given pre-approval to restrictions similar to those in Russia, Hungary and Georgia, with up to 10 days jail for promoting non-traditional relationships and paedophilia. Still has to go to a full parliamentary vote and be signed into law by the president, which it will be. Homosexuality is legal in Kazakhstan, by the way, but it's a very conservative, majority Muslim country.
Pride Daily.
And 9 prominent transgender women are being honoured in the UK as part of Glamour magazine's Women of the Year Awards. It's a pushback to some major attacks on trans rights there, with Munro Bergdorf and Belle Priestley among those being recognised. All 9 are on the cover in pro-trans Protect the Dolls t-shirts. So of course, Harry Potter's wicked grandmas felt obliged to have thoughts, to which the magazines responded, better luck next year. No time to tell you that Hong Kong's Pink Dot LGBTQ+ event is happening on Sunday as an online concert. Was meant to be a proper real-life festival, but a venue couldn't be sorted. And tomorrow it's Pride in Buenos Aires in Argentina. Get in touch in our socials. We're at Pride Daily Pod. That's your lot. I'll see you next week.